Hi lovely people, welcome to Vicky's Signature. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to cut and sew this trending backless bubu. So if this really sounds like what you want to learn, stay tuned as we're about to start. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell. So this backless bubu has an inner bra cup. So while I'll be teaching you, I'll tell you more details about the bra cup. Now for this particular tutorial, I'll be making use of 2.5 yards of fabric, right? 2.5 yards of Ankara fabric. So this is the Ankara fabric. So what I'll do now is to fold it into 4. So the measurement you are going to use in folding it into 4 is you measure your neck down to where you want the sleeve to stop. So mine is around 20 inches. So I'll fold it so that I can have 20 to 21 inches because of folding allowance, right? So that is what I am doing right now. I fold once and I'll fold again. So in order for us not to waste much time, I went ahead and fold it to my desired measurement and then I cut out the excess. Now I'll go ahead to rule a margin or a line so that it's going to serve as our starting point, right? So you go ahead and do yours like that. Now note that I'm cutting both the front and the back together first before we can like demarcate the back and go about the neckline. Now after marking that line, we are going to be measuring from our shoulder to waistline. So the shoulder to waistline I'm using is 16 inches. I'll mark 16 inches. Shoulder to the hip line is 25 inches, and then shoulder to the length of the gown, I want it to be 39 inches. So I'll go ahead to add 2 inches so that I can have, I think, 41 inches in total. So that 2 inches is going to be the folding allowance. So next thing is for me to carry my straight rule and extend all the lines. So I'll extend the hemming line. From there I'll also extend the hip line. Can you see? I'm taking it a bit slow so that we all can understand it very well. And then I'll extend the waistline. Can you see? This is so simple to understand. So we can also go ahead and label it so that you can know it. W stands for waistline. H stands for the hip line. I also mark it as hip. And then L is going to stand for the length of the gown. Now let's continue from there. So next thing now is for us to what? Remeasure what we have there. I want to make sure that I have the 20 or 21 inches that I am looking for. So I have 21. The 1 inches is going to be there for my folding allowance. Now I'll come down by 1.5 inches for my shoulder slope, right? I'll come down by 1.5 inches for my shoulder slope, and then I'll connect it straight towards the neckline because we're not cutting the necklines together. Now after connecting it, what I'll be doing is I'll add half inches of joining allowance, right? I'll add half inches of joining allowance so that when I want to cut, I'll not cut directly on that 1.5 inches mark again. I'll cut on the half inches allowance we add. That is going to be our joining allowance of both the front and the back. So from that part, I'll come down by 10 inches for my sleeve opening. 10 inches, then I'll add 1 inches for sewing allowance. So around that 1 inches, I'll just go inside small so that I can know it when I want to curve it very well. Now next thing for us to do is to measure our hip measurement and then divide it by 4. So when I divided mine by 4, I have 10.5. So that is my actual hip. Now I'll be adding extra inches to give us that bubu effect. So you can add as 3, you can add 3 inches, 4 or 5 inches, but for this particular video I'm adding 5 inches, right? I'll be adding 5 inches. So anything I have on the hip, I'll put it on the waist and even down to the length of the dress so I can connect everything together. You know, bubu, everything is going to be seen except you are sewing a bubu that doesn't want all the sides to be equal, right? Now after doing that, I'll use my straight rule to connect all the lines together, connecting from the length to the hip and then from the hip to the waistline. I'll also try and connect it upward a bit so that it meets that our line, and then I'll cross it together. So after crossing it together, it's for us to just form our curve, right? Just to form our curve. So that curve now is going to be the sleeve curve. Now next thing for us to do is to mark out the neckline. So the neckline I'll be using for both the front and the back, that is the width of the neckline is going to be 3.5. so that is the 3.5 I just mark, right? So both the front and the back have the same neckline width. So note, next now is for me to go ahead and what, cut it out properly. So I'm cutting everything together now, so that after cutting it, then we can just demarcate it and start working with the necklines of each of the piece. So you look at the way I'm cutting the back, the shoulder part, right? Now I will remove one from each other so that we can mark out our front and our back separately. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. So I will remove the inner piece to serve as the front, and then the outer piece is going to serve as the back. So let me quickly do that and then we proceed from there. So now this is what we are going to be using for the front. So we will just go ahead and put our front neckline. So I'll be marking like 4.5 inches or 4 inches. So I use 4 inches for the neckline. I didn't add any allowance because we'll be using a bias tape to turn the neckline. So after that, I just use my cuff to connect it to that our 3.5 inches mark of the width, of the neckline width that we did for both the front and the back. Then I'll use my scissors to cut it out, and that is all for the front. The front doesn't have anything like that. Now after that, I'll just go ahead to pin it very well and then keep it one place so that we can start working with the back. So go ahead and adjust your back just the way you are seeing it on your screen. Adjust it very well and then let's start working with the neckline. Now, so this is one of the main reasons for this tutorial. So for the back neckline, I came down by 14 inches. That is from my shoulder to my back length. So my back length is 14. So instead of marking the 14, I use 13 and a half, so that the remaining half is going to be for sewing allowance. Then I extended the line inward. So now for the width of that side, I'll be using the same width neckline that I use. That 3.5 I use on the neck, that is what I'll use. So everything is just going to blend together on a very straight line. Now after connecting it with a very straight line, we can't leave it this sharp. So what we have to do is to blend the edge like that, right? We will blend the edge. So you can go ahead and blend the edge with your hand like this. Can you see? Or if you have a curve, you can just do it like so. And that is all for the back. You see that is very simple. Now you go ahead and cut it out, right? You go ahead and cut it out. But before cutting it, make sure all sides are equal. You've pinned everywhere and everything is in place. So I'll go ahead and cut it out very well. So you can also go ahead and cut your own. Now after cutting it, this is what we have, right? This is what we have. Next thing now is for us to use our bias tape to turn the neckline. So I don't have a bias tape, but I just cut this piece so that I can use at the moment, right? So I'll use it to turn the neckline of both the back and also the front. So that is for the back and this is for the front. So once I'm done, we'll continue from there. So I went ahead to cut this rope. It is like 20 inches each. Now I'll come down by 1.5 inches from the back neckline and then I'll stitch it together. I also come down by 1.5 inches from the other side and then I'll stitch it inside together. So that is a rope that we usually tie at that neck part. Now after that, I'll come to the down part where I have that curvy shape, right? I'll put one of the rope again. This one too is also 20 inches. You can even make yours longer depending on what you want. You go ahead and stitch it properly. Can you see? You stitch it properly. You go to the other side. Yes, you go to the other side and stitch it properly. Now after stitching it, you cut out your thread and this is what we have. Now next is for us to start joining the back and the front together. So this is the front. Can you see that it has an inner bracket? Yes, I made an inner bracket, but that won't be included in this tutorial. It's going to be a paid class. So if you want to learn how to cut the inner bracket and how to fix it, the class is just 2,000 naira. I'll be dropping my phone number on the comment section so that you can learn it. Next thing now is just for you to fix the shoulder of both the front and the back. So if without bra cup and with bra cup you can learn this. That is why I am saying this now. So if you want to learn how to make the bra cup, you can contact me through the line I'll be putting in the comment section. So after joining the shoulders, this is what we have. Next thing is for us to fold the sleeve inside. So we added 1 inches or 1.5 inches while we were cutting. So we use that measurement to fold it inside. So can you see? Now after folding it inside, we are going to hold it down very well, and then we'll sew it together, right? We're going to sew it together. Now for us to do that, we are going to be using that 1 inches of allowance we added earlier, and we'll sew it down, right? We're going to be sewing it down. So when you reach your waist and you want to add a pocket, you can go ahead and add yours. So I went ahead to add this side pocket. I believe side pocket is not a new thing to anybody, so I just quickly did this off camera because it was not my initial plan to put this side pocket. So after doing that, you just go ahead to what, notch the armhole area, that is that sleeve point, so that it can relax very well. You see that I have already notched mine, but I'm showing you guys so that you can see it properly, right? So you can see it properly. And after that, next thing is for you to what, come to the length of the gown, and then you fold it using that 2 inches of allowance we added. You fold one, and you also fold again like this, and then you stitch it, right? And then you stitch it. So when you are done stitching it, that is going to be the end of this tutorial. And when you want to tie it, that 2 rope at the down part of the back is going to be tied towards the front, and then the upper one is going to be tied around your neckline of the back. Can you see? This is the result. Can you see that I'm putting on the inner brackets and it sits very well? So if you want to learn, kindly contact the number I'll be putting on the comment section, and I'll add you to the group. The fee is just 2,000 naira. So bye, and see you in class if you are interested in learning the inner bracket. But if you are not interested, thanks for watching, and I hope this tutorial is helpful.